And welcome back to the Watchworks. First off, I apologize for the loud ticking in the background. Yesterday I finished servicing and putting back together a 1960 Westclock Spur Style 2, and it turns out to be a very loud ticker, so if that's noisier in the background, I apologize. Now, to get started, you might notice a couple of more things are different too. First off, you might notice there's no pocket watch on my desk. Nope. I'm trying to get into collecting some alarm clocks too, because these are also pretty cool. I like the dollar watches, but I have a liking for these too. I actually use a Westclock's baby bin to wake me up in the morning. Second thing you might notice, I'm not at the desk. I actually am on the ground. There's the carpet right there, and what I'm using is an old cover to an old CD changer that was broken, and so I parted that out for good pieces and parts. And obviously I just have my foam pad set on here. So tell me down in the comments if you like this new filming setup. I mean, I'm probably gonna keep this filming setup for when I'm servicing these, because I cannot work on one of these with the tripod looming right overhead. But, you know, I'll try this servicing a dollar watch too. Next dollar watch I have, I'll try doing it this way, and you guys tell me how you like it. If you want it the old way, or do you like it at an angle? I also, quick apology here too, you might notice that the parts are loose, knobs, and this back. I did a pre-filming inspection because I haven't had any experience with the US time alarm clocks, and so I wanted to make sure this is serviceable if you're filming it. With that out of the way, let's get on with the repair. Besides, I took it apart, but you can see I have not done anything to it mechanically or visually. It's still just as grimy as when I got it. The thing has probably sat forever. So now, starting on with the repair. First thing, you remove these two screws that hold on the base and also help hold this cover on. There it goes, the base is like that. And yeah, definitely gonna be washing my hands after working on this one. I wonder if it was used in the kitchen or something. Let's see here. I'm going to remove the winding key, and here's something really cool. This is probably circa 1940, this alarm clock. And the repair that was done to this thing, it's pretty cool. This is a 1918 Mercury dime. I actually have one from 1933. I do kind of collect coins too. Whoops. But someone soldered this to the little screw-in bushing that goes onto there. They soldered it to there. Soldered the dime to there so they can wind it up. I found this pretty cool. I'm probably gonna find a new winding key so I'm not like putting my hands all over the lead solder, winding it up every day. As long as you're not, coming in contact constantly with lead solder is fine. And now the way this comes off is like that. You just pop that off. Here's your front bezel. You can see this, it's kind of like a copy of what those mid-40s Westclocks alarm clocks. I'm going to set these off to the side, out of the way. Here's the crystal. That's going to need a good cleaning. The eBay seller did an excellent job shipping these. They even taped over the crystal so it wouldn't, you know, rattle around and chip and break. So get these all to well, the arm does kind of work. I'm gonna just pull out the hands here. And this just kind of pops off. It's a paper dowel with a metal backing. Obviously, most of these alarm clocks were made like that. And here's your movement right here. And here's why I left the back loose. So, I don't forget to see in there that piece of metal moving, this bell is held on just by tabs. And you can't remove the magnet, the movement, without undoing these tabs to access the bolt in the back. So, the movement itself seems to be a very nice quality, but, you know, I don't know how many times you'd be able to bend these tabs around in order to service it. Not much, really, because every time you bend that metal, it gets weaker and weaker. There's nothing stuck on the back here that's keeping it from coming off. It's just the metal tabs catching. Let's see here. Takes a bit of fiddling around to get these off. Oops. There we go. So here's almost like a little bowl that this sits in. Here's your bell. I'm gonna clean everything off, obviously, too. Look at that. It's like kind of corrosion. It looks like, so the clear coat is kind of flaking off there. Yeah, there's the bell. It's secured by these metal tabs. I'd prefer if this bell was screwed on that back plate. So it sounds like. It is like one of the biggest alarm clocks I've had. I've only had basically a baby Ben. The first one I ever got was Avocado Green Westclock's Baby Ben Fashion Bright. I got that at a local church sale for a quarter, 25 cents US. Let me see here. I'm also gonna need to fix the dent here. And here, this thing looks like it got smushed a bit, but it was like that when I got it. It didn't happen in shipping. So that's bottom. And you remove these 4 nuts to get the movement off. Anti-wrench, as always. I need to get one of those miniature adjustables. I think they were made by Crescent. I want to get one of those. Those would be helpful for adjusting the nuts for the balance wheel cups, or the balance staff cups. That just pops right out. And here is the rather nicely constructed movement. This is all This is all steel and brass. I mean, this is very well built. It's a shame that the case makes it so it's kind of not really super serviceable. And unlike some of the Westclox movements, and just get the knobs off here. Going just to and don't worry, this is not bending the brass plates at all by doing that. Very little force being exerted. There we go. Brass plate's fine. And here are the knobs. This one goes on the center for time setting and alarm setting. And interestingly, the regulator, you regulate this from outside of the case. I don't know if you noticed. The screw just kind of pokes through there. And another interesting note. I can continue getting the rest of this movement apart. Another interesting note. This taper pin. Well, it's more of like a wedge actually, because it's flat on two sides. So to remove that, I'm just going to pop it out like that. Look at that. Be a bit easier to find if it pings out of your tweezers than the microscopic ones some of the companies use. There we go, that is free from there now. And I hope this brass screw right here isn't stuck. Okay, good. Ooh. Let me look at this quickly. Unless... yes, I see. So they tighten that down. I'm learning as I go, just like always. With these new ones I haven't worked on before. Here's the balance, and this thing is absolutely ginormous. And let's see if I can zoom in onto the... Probably won't necessarily be able to see it, but the ends on that balance stuff is pretty grimy. Set that off to the side as well. And let's see how I go about getting the rest of this apart. It's held together by 4 nuts once again. Loosen those. The rubber on these at one point melted and then it dried out, I guess. Because rubber as it degrades will either just go all hard and crunchy or it'll liquefy. This one looks like it did both. It liquefied and then it dried out and it went all crunchy. The residue is leaving on my fingers too. And I just noticed something. Stamped right here on the movement plate, it says Made in USA. Probably won't be able to see it. Yeah, just as figured, because the Waterbury Clock Company obviously is located here in the US. In Waterbury, Connecticut, I think? I forgot. And I have to keep a mental note of where everything goes. I'm about to pop this whole thing apart. And this still has some tension on it, so there you go. Here's your massive mainspring barrel, and well, there's some mainspring. That actually still looks to be well lubricated, so I'd probably just leave that as it is. Let's see here. Yeah, it's still nice and oily, and that's clean oil too. So that's good. And I am just going to take a picture of what this looks like here quickly. So that goes like that. And I am going to take a picture. Okay. Now to continue on with disassembly. There's a mainspring barrel. With its unique mainspring retention system, actually. See how that is? And it just slots in that slit. It kind of locks itself in there. I've seen that before on like those cheapy wind-up toys, or those little pullback car mechanisms. I used to take those apart when I was younger. Looks like that's gonna stay affixed to the movement. So is that center wheel. Oh. Okay, so there's a little spacer on here. Removable spacer. You've got a cut brass pinion on there. Same with that one. Even the center wheel has a brass pinion where the mainspring comes in contact with it. Massive escape wheel. But all these have little spacers on them. This movement is actually pretty clean. I guess the wonders of modern day technology. Yeah, so my camera crashed, or well, my phone's camera crashed, and I was looking at it, and it didn't show that the image is actually saved. So like, yeah, and then I looked back on the pictures a couple minutes later, and it was saved. So I guess I'm doing this. I'm leaving off where I kind of went off. I was working for a little bit after. I didn't know it had stopped. And I realized it had crashed. So anyway, I was pointing out how all of these, it's interesting because all these have little spacer like tubes, which is interesting. This is what actuates the alarm hammer. Kind of like a clock escape of a pendulum. Speed regulator, already pointed that out. Should powerful work. Check it out, the anti-overbanking. I forgot what it's actually called. But instead of having like a roller or anything like, or no. Okay, forget what I just said there. But notice it has a cut balance. So you can see it actually uses the balance wheel itself, or the balance staff itself, to keep that in place. And then when it comes in contact with that, it's kind of hard to show. But yeah, the actual balance staff fits into those grooves, and you can see the roller pin right there is right in front of that cutout. So it's an interesting anti-overbaking system. And I just almost finished with taking this apart. This part is captive to this, so it's not gonna come off. It really annoys me though when my phone camera crashes, because then I have to go and stitch everything together, and it just takes up a bunch of extra storage. I really hope these tabs will not break when I bend them back. Bending the tabs that hold this in place. And I am just going to take another picture for reference quickly. Okay, I got a picture. So hopefully it should kind of grudgingly come off. It's a bit stuck. There we go. There's this piece off. I don't think it really matters actually what orientation it goes on. It looks like it's same on both sides, but that just retains this all the alarm setting and dial train in place. Whoops. Here is the alarm setting wheel. This thing is absolutely ginormous. Half the size of the palm of my hand. Here's the hour wheel right there, and this is the tab that either keeps the alarm hammer from moving when the alarm isn't going off. I'm just gonna kind of gently get that off of there. There we go. So that's this apart. Sorry that the video was a bit choppy. Of course my phone camera had to crash 5 minutes before the video is over. So thank you very much for watching. Tell me if you like the new filming style. You know, like, dislike, whatever. Once again, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. See you in part 2.